Greetings and welcome back to Monster Legends. It's Saturday and we have a lot of things to talk about. Some of the things we mentioned already, but now we get to go into some detail. Let's begin with the big one. This is the Tribal Fire Maze. Alright, let's go through it. There's two epics, we don't care. And then we have a legendary, which unfortunately is actually a really good legendary. Montezuma is a very good legendary. And you can use him a couple of different ways too, because this guy could be a damage dealer for you. He's got a group attack that does poison and stuff like that, and it's heavy damage. So yeah, he can definitely do some stuff with that. He's also got some cooldown activation and some possessions as well. And that includes a single target mega possession. Now, he's got single target cooldown activation. He's got a group one. Personally, I don't use it because it activates his cooldowns too. So, yeah, I use him more for the damage and the possessions and the single target activation. However you use it, he's a really good monster. It's a shame he's in this maze at this time because, let's face it, you're not really as interested in him as you are in the big guy. So let's talk about the big guy. All right, so here he is, Quacks-ill-croc. Who is Quacks-ill-croc? Well, let's talk about Quacks-ill-croc. So let's go into detail on this fella. Now, he's a fire attacker. He's got a lot of torture stuff going on. He's got a lot of group attacks, too, if you want them all. He does have one rather strange weakness, and we're going to be talking about that kind of early on. Actually, it's in the stats. So let's begin over there. Upper right. All right, now his life. He's got over 60,000 life. That's pretty darn good, actually, for an attacker. I mean, that's into the tanky range there. So he's going to be able to take some hits. It's definitely not a glass cannon. The next one is what I consider to be the head-scratching thing here. His power really isn't very good. 55-44? I mean, we have tanks, Unspeakable, and Erder, who are both like 58, nearly 5,900. So I'm just wondering why an attacker has such a low power. That's really the only question I have about this guy. Otherwise, he's really good. The speed. Speed is not a speed demon, but it's not too bad either. I mean, you can't have, he's got group attacks with torture effects, and he's going to do a lot of damage with them. You couldn't give him denial speed or anything like that, because that'd be crazy. So his speed is perfectly serviceable. His evolving trait is actually really good, especially if you can rank him up. He begins with stun immunity, which is pretty darn good. Lots of things stun, right? If you get him to rank 1, he gets possession immunity. So between the two of them, I mean, you're going to have to freeze him for conventional denial, So that's pretty good. If he gets to rank 3, then that means he gets control immunity, which means you're going to have to take his stamina or activate his cooldowns in order to stop him, because otherwise, nothing is going to work. So definitely a really good trait here. It's a little head-scratching that he has sword and armor. Sword I can understand. Armor is a little strange, but then again, I guess it's going to make him increase his survivability, I would think staff. Throw staff in there, I mean, I guess you'd call him kind of a mage, but then again, he's got a big old hammer. All right, so let's talk about his skills, right? Let's talk about his skills. I mentioned he's got a lot of group attacks with torture skills. All right, let's start with the first one in Tier 1, Aztec Fire. Deals moderate fire damage to one enemy, applies burn to one enemy. All right, 1 round cooldown, 0 cost. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, remember I mentioned one of the ways you would have stopped him would be taking his stamina away. Well, that would mean you couldn't take his stamina away. I mean, it's a 40 damage. It's moderate, but it's a high moderate, so that's going to do a lot of damage. You're probably going to put a lot of strength on him, even though his power doesn't really start off very well. So, I mean, you might want to hold on to that one. We'll have to see. He's got a lot of stuff here. All right, also in Tier 1, you have Dragon's Cry. Deals moderate special damage to all enemy, applies nightmares to all enemies. And that's a 1 round cooldown. It's only a 25 cost, so that's pretty inexpensive. I mean, the damage isn't too terrific, and we're talking about nightmares. So maybe you want to leave that one out? It really depends. All right, so let's go down to Tier 2. Sunhammer deals very heavy special damage to one enemy, applies fire weakness, burn, and ignition to one enemy. So one enemy is going to have a really bad day after that. So that's kind of good because most of his hits are fire damage. So if the fire weakness lands, that individual is going to take a lot of damage the next time he attacks. So that's kind of good. That might be your single target one, because, the thing about it is you always have to be able to take out that single target individual because they might be dodging group attacks, Of course, you might want to go with the first one, too. It all depends. All right, and then also in Tier 2, you have this one, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. But that is applies nightmares to one enemy, gives an extra turn to itself. Now, you might want to take that for the extra turn, even though the cost, 39 is a little bit costly for that. Does he need the extra turn? He might, because his 2 big bangs that are coming up are 3-round cooldowns. It's questionable whether or not he's going to be using all of these a lot, because, if once he does these other 2 and follows up, how long is the fight going to go on at that point? It's kind of like that. He's going to do an enormous amount of damage, and those individuals are going to have a number of torture effects, unless, of course, they can't have them or they resist them or something like that. So how long is the fight going to actually go on? This is one of those situations where I'm thinking, you may not want that one. Instead of that, you may want to take the first one. That's kind of what I'm thinking. All right, let's get down to the big meaty stuff here. Blaze Rain. Deals moderate fire damage to all enemies, applies burn and sunburn to all enemies. All right, so it's low moderate, it's 30, but they're getting 2 torture effects, so that's really going to hurt. Then we get down to Ember Storm. Deals moderate fire damage to all enemies, applies ignite to all enemies. That one's a little higher on the initial damage, at 35, but then you're also giving them ignition. So if you land both of those, they're going to have burn, sunburn, and ignition, unless, of course, they resist it or they're immune to it or something like that. So that's going to be doing a lot of damage. What I'm thinking about for myself is that I would go with the 2 Tier 3 ones, of course, right? The 2 big group attacks, right? I'm not really interested in the other one, the one in Tier 1, because, it's low damage, the same as Blaze Rain, but Blaze Rain gives 2 good torture effects as opposed to nightmares. What I'd do is take those. I would also take the big hit in Tier 2, right? The Sun Hammer, the very heavy special hit, because you can really hurt one individual with that. If he's dodging, right, dodging group attacks, you hit him really hard, give him fire weakness, burn, ignition, so he's in a lot of trouble at that point. And then I would probably also take Aztec Fire, that first one, because he's got some high tiered stuff here, some high cooldown stuff here. So having something that has a 1-round cooldown is pretty useful. And then, of course, it has a 0 cost. So if his stamina gets taken away from him, then he can still use it. So, that's kind of what I'm thinking of. I'd want to test with him, but that's kind of what I'm thinking of. So, of course, how do we get him? Well, we get him with the maze, right? And, of course, it is all about the limited path. So you want to raise your maze coins. First, let's talk about the conventional way of raising the maze coins, because we all know this, but maybe some people don't. How do you get them? Well, you collect the gold. You can get a maximum of 30 that way. You collect your food. You can get a maximum of 50 that way. You feed your monsters. You can get 30 that way. You do a PvP fight. If you do it, you get 15. And then you can do breedings and hatchings. You get up to 50 for the breedings, up to 50 for the hatchings. Points, that is. You do as much as you can to clear it all out. It resets every 4 hours. So once you got everything, you might as well just wait for the 4 hours to go by to get it again. I might dribble in a little bit, but it's going to be hard to keep track of it that way. You just want to make sure you get as many of the coins as you can within each integral. Unfortunately, you might be asleep for some of them, but as I understand, there's stuff in the Legends Pass that will guarantee you get all of the coins. It's one of their little selling points. One of the ways, of course, is that this, of course, began yesterday. So this is day 2. Day 2, there is a Maze Coins dungeon. You might notice the little icon up there. I left it there because the last time we didn't have it. So let's just go in and do the last fight here. I'm sure what I'm talking about. Now, if you do the whole thing, you get 1,000. So I'm just going to do this last fight, and we're going to meet our new friend, and he's going to die horribly. Because I have a death... They changed my team. No. Where's my death team? I want my death team. Where is it? There we go. There's my death team. The only one who gets to say is Spot. Yeah, they're just going to die. Now Spot's mad. And boom. Okay, why do you have that uncommon... Never mind. All right, let's just make sure this ends horribly for them. Oh, well, he's got a lot of health. So Spot's going to pay him back. Spot's going to pay him back. Boom. And I'm going to do a spin. And I'm going to get some gems here, of course. Because I need a lot of gems. Oh, geez, I want the gems, dude. Seriously. And that's all done. So you want to make sure you clear it out because you can see it's got 12 hours, 4 minutes left. So you got 24 hours to clear this out. You want to make sure you do that. Let's just step back in there for a moment. Where is it? It's over here. So you get as many maze coins as you can. You see I currently have 2862. I did miss some opportunities, so I'm hoping that that's not going to hurt me. You can count without a discount on probably needing about 4,800 for the limited path. Now, limited path is going to begin tomorrow. Now, the big question that comes up, people ask is, when does it begin? Because that's kind of important. Because generally, they start the first hour of the limited path with a 10% discount. So you probably want to do then. You want to spend as much as you can then. Now, for me, I live in the United States. I'm on the East Coast, so I am Eastern Daylight Time. For me, it begins at 7 a.m. So the discount will go until 8 a.m. You're going to have to work that out for yourself in terms of when that's going to be if you're interested in catching that beginning. Since you're talking about so many coins, an extra 10% can be very useful. And if you come up just short, then you're obviously going to regret it. Now, anything you put into the path, if you don't finish it, well, you're in big trouble at that point. So it's going to be rather important. For me, these mazes have always come down to the limited path. Once I'm done, my enthusiasm just falls off the table because it's going to be difficult raising enough coins to be able to get to him in the first place, right? Because if you go in the conventional way, even if you wait until there's a day and 18 hours left in the event, which is a 30% discount, by the way, for an hour, you still have to go through each one of these 3 individuals before you can even unlock this fellow over here on the right. Then you're going. How many of these little cells are you going to get at that point? So it's really important to go for the limited path. So you want to be saving. It's the reason I pointed out in the previous video. Never spend any coins, no matter what discount you see, before the limited path. Once limited path begins, that's when you want to spend them. If you can get that discount in the beginning, even though it's only 10%, it counts. It really matters. Every single coin matters. Remember, like 4,800, that's generally the area it's going to be in. If you get a discount, obviously a bit lower. So anyway, that's going to begin tomorrow morning, or whatever time frame you're in. You have to look that up, work that out for yourself. And if you have to get up early on a Sunday morning, well, get up early on a Sunday morning. That's what it comes down to, right? Because he's very good. As I said, the only thing I'm a little bit like, I don't know why his power is so low. I would say at least 5,700, 5,750, something like that. I mean, his attacks don't really have a lot of damage. I mean, his group attacks, he's got 2 30 ones and he's got a 35. So they're kind of like lower and then middle moderate damage as opposed to high moderate damage. So he's really depending on his torture effects to really do the job. I would like to have seen him have a little bit more power. Otherwise, he's really good. His trait is really good. If you can get him to rank 3 and he's immune to control, well, then you could do all kinds of things with him. You can match him with Kronks to give him triple damage, in which case, ooh, look out below, right? Anyway, that's going to be the Tribal Fire Maze. It's going to run for another 5 days, 11 hours, and 1 minute. But remember, the limited path begins tomorrow morning. If it's morning for you, it's going to run for 2 days. So I wouldn't count on seeing another discount after that during that period of time. And if you get to the end of the maze and you're saving all your coins for that, when there's 1 day and 18 hours left in the event, there's going to be a 30% discount. So you might want to save for that if that's what you want to do. That's probably, I think that's going to be on Wednesday. So that's usually when it's, so my next video is going to be after that. So you've gotten the only warning you're going to get from me. All right, so that's obviously the big thing we have going today. They also have a new 72-hour challenge. I did not get Elsa her upgrade because it was once again the last card. So just before going to bed, hey, you want to raise another 4,000? No, I don't. I don't. You know, I'd like to get her an upgrade, but she's a legendary. Now, quality has increased again, and I'd like to direct your attention to the right. Yes, Imigbo is in there. Definitely, if you do not have Imigbo, you want to be doing multiplayer wins to get the coins to get Imigbo. Imigbo is very good. Very good water damage. He's got all kinds of really nasty things. Very, very nasty things. Trait disabling. He's got possession. He's got really good damage. He's got torture effects. You want him. You really do. You want him. So definitely, you want to focus over there. If you don't have, mine's 110. I'm kind of trying for him. Where is it right now? I even got the 8, so it's kind of like, I got the 8 and the 5. You see the gems? So it's very questionable whether I still want to be here or not. Because one of them isn't really going to help me very much because getting them to 115 would be expensive. All right, so we got that going. There is a new event that is beginning. I had no idea this was coming, so let me just look for it because they like hiding these things for some reason. I don't really know what's going on with that. No, not that one. We'll talk about that one before we're done. Where is... Oh, there he is, way down here. This is Illion's tail. And of course, this is Illion. And Illion looks like a very bad experiment between a rabbit and a chihuahua. That's what it's screaming to me. Anyway, this is one of the token collection ones, right? And you can see I'm kind of along right here. There's a token dungeon right now. You can get one of each of them by going through the tokens dungeon. It'll be open for another day or so. There'll probably be one next week as well. There's also in Monsterwood, you can watch videos to get these, and you'll be able to get these. If you even just barely try, you'll be able to get 5 of each of these. No problem whatsoever. The big deal is going to be you have 8 days and 11 hours to accumulate a number of gems for which you can actually get him. That's the real challenge here, right? Getting these tokens is easy because what's going to happen is in 8 days and 11 hours, there's going to be a progressive event. And the first one is you put all these in and you get a nice little avatar for him, right? From that point on, you're going after cells. There'll be a group of 20 cells. There'll be a group of 30 cells, then 50, and then a whole bunch after if you have a whole bunch more after that. For me, I just want the 100. Give him to me. I'll worry about ranking him up in my own time. All right, but who is this individual? Well, let's find out. All right, so this is Illion. Now, he is basically a light control individual, although they're acting very loosely with the control here. So we'll get to that in a moment. All right, let's look at the stats. Life, like really 58,000, that's not so bad, right? Power is really terrible, but then again, that's not what he does. He's got a lot of speed. This is somebody who is actually kind of like control-ish, who actually does have a lot of speed here. At a 4862, that's pretty darn good. You can get this guy to go really fast. All right, in terms of the trait, rank 0 starts with hardening, and then at rank 1 gets stun immunity. That's a pretty good combo. You get him up to rank 1, he's hardened, which means he's going to resist 20% of negative status effects, and he's going to be immune to stun. So that's pretty good. At rank 3, he gets a status cast for True Vision. I'm guessing that is for self. It doesn't say that, but I'm guessing that's for himself. It might be for the group. But I'm just going to assume it's for himself. One way or another, that's not so bad. That means he's really not going to miss. Unless, like, we're talking total blind or something like that. Anyway, let's move on to the good stuff here. All right, because he does have some good stuff, but I think they're playing a little fast and loose with control. Although he does have some individual things. All right, let's begin with Tier 1. Deals heavy special damage to one enemy, applies total damage reduction. All right, that's kind of useful. It also does a lot of damage there, even though his power isn't too terrific. It's not a damage dealer, but, that'll do some damage there, right? And 2-round cooldown on that. Then we have Untrue Vision. Deals heavy light damage to one enemy, applies blind, sunburn, and daze to one enemy. All right, 1-round cooldown. That is a single target version of his big one at the bottom. So if you want a preview. Then we have, oh my, I'm all ears. He certainly is. Removes all negative status effects from itself, applies photophobic shield to itself. Now, if my memory is correct, that means he can only be hit by special damage or protects him from special. I don't remember. It's one of those. I know it's special damage. Maybe he can only be hit or he can't be hit. One way or another, I probably wouldn't take that. I would rather have him actively doing things because he's got a lot of active skills. So that's kind of what I would do. All right, then we have Flashy Fox. Is he supposed to be a fox? He looks like a chihuahua. Deals heavy dark damage to one enemy, applies total blind to one enemy. Okay, so that's kind of useful. So you have the first one at the top here, Friendly Slap, right? Heavy special damage, total damage reduction. Then you have this one down here, and it pretty much matches of each other, you know, in terms of like one of them is special damage, one of them is dark damage, one of them is a total blind, the other does total damage reduction. They have the same damage, cooldown, and cost. So those are a pretty good pair for, you know, for control, but for single individuals, right? All right, let's go into tier 3. Cunning Trick removes positive stats effects from one enemy, gives extra turn to itself. I can see you wanting to do that, especially considering a lot of what he has that you're going to use are 2-round cooldowns, so you can get back to them as quickly as possible, including his big one, right? His quote-unquote big one. That's a 2-round cooldown. So having an extra turn might be useful for that. And then we have the big one, Did You Miss Me? Deals moderate light damage to all enemies, applies sunburn, daze, and blind to all enemies. All right, so that one is a 35 damage, not so bad. It's a 2-round cooldown, like I mentioned. It is a 50 cost, but then he's got the stamina to do that, right? So that one is going to give sunburn. That's going to hurt their, he's going to do damage as a torture effect, of course. Daze and blind together, if both of them hit, you know, they're going to make it harder for the other side to hit. In terms of that one, is that one really great control? I don't know. We have to see about that, right? I think the other two for single targets are better. You know, the total blind and then, of course, the total damage reduction. Those are pretty darn good. What would I go with? Those 3 I would probably take. You know, I would take the deals, the last one, the Did You Miss Me, the group one. I would take the 2 single ones in terms. It's a little tricky though. I mean, that other one, the Untrue Vision, is nice, but I mean, it's a 1-round cooldown as well. I don't know. Maybe I take those 3. I mean, those 4 completely. Do you need the extra turn at that point? If you're going to take 3 good single target hits and one of them has a 1-round cooldown, and then you take the group one, do you really need the other ones? I don't know. If you wanted to go with full stuff on that, maybe. I mean, that's what I'm thinking of. Might have to test with him. So that's this guy. He seems pretty good. You know, they call him Control. I don't know if Control, when you have just blindness in your group attack, is going to do it. But then again, like I said, he's got the total damage reduction. He's got the total blind. Both of those are pretty darn useful. So you got to collect the tokens. They'll be available in multiple ways. Like I said, there's a tokens dungeon now. There'll be another one in about a week or so. And then, of course, they're in the Monster Wood right now to watch videos. You want to randomly get one. You'll get a lot of food, by the way. And they're going to pop up in other events, too. You can probably count on seeing some of them in the maze or in other events. There'll be chess, breeding events. You know, they'll be popping up. The big thing, of course, is make sure that you have gems to be able to push along the progressive event. That's all. And just make sure you go through and do all the collections. We got plenty of time to talk about that in the meantime. Now, in terms of the other event that's going on right now, I have abandoned it, by the way. I've gotten just so many epics and rares that I'm just not going to bother anymore. And of course, that's this. You know, you go through this, you do the breeding, you try to get either Hyperia, Inzanami, I think that is, and Nabeline. I've got epics and rares, and I'm not going to do it anymore. So I'm just done. I actually had to spend 20 gems to free up a spot in my hatchery because I forgot there was a maze coming up, and I had to make points for the maze that way. So yeah, I'm done with it. I'm not even going to bother. I even have this free and available right now, but I'm just not going to bother with it anymore. So I'm not going to get the survival dungeon and such like that for the for that creature. I said when I talked about that one is going to be really hard. She was going to be very hard to get, and I tried. I didn't get one of the combo. I would actually have really liked one of those individuals. Any one of them would have been useful to me. I think that is about everything. Of course, associated with that, with each of the breedings, they also have, where is it? They had the Quest Days dungeons in there. And you can see I did a couple of them for the ones that I have. And of course, they gave out, how far did I get? I got all the way down to there. Because I said I did it 4 times. Yes, 4 times, right? And every time you do it, you can get an encounter, and then the wheel spin at the end gives you a chance at 5 cells. I think it's 5 cells for some quest individuals who've been there. And they're also for sale over here, but I do believe they're kind of pricey, especially for the really good ones. You know, they're kind of pricey. So, I mean, but the thing is, if you have them and you're just short of being able to get somebody, like if I really, really wanted Yum Berber, which I don't really want him that much, then I might do that. You know, there are some good ones in here. Like, for instance, I didn't finish the survival dungeon on Frazzarot, but 25 wouldn't even do the job anyway, so I wouldn't spend that kind of gems. Besides, I'm saving up for a mythic, and remember, none of these are mythics. Try to keep that in mind. None of these are mythics. All right, I think that's about it. The only other thing I wanted to do is I wanted to do some chests. All right, before we go in, because we don't have war today. Unfortunately, we're still in the Legendary League. We got beaten in the last one. We're probably, I don't know, we look like we might have a better chance this time. They may not have their best stuff automatically put in there, but we might have a better chance this time. But that one isn't going to be until really late tonight. And like I said, I do have chests to do. I actually have 2 different kinds of chests to do today. Let's just see here for a second. I have a lot of these because we had events that gave chests. We had monster wood. And I believe I got these 2 gold from the last 2 PvP seasons. That's how long I've been hanging on to them. Because I want to open them in videos, right? So why don't we just do that right now? All right, so another big question. How many diamonds do I get? Okay, I see a couple of golds in there. Okay, that's a good one right there. That's a good one right there. Take that stamina away. Actually, I got a bunch of these guys down here. Because I'm seeing some gold traps down here. Okay, that's a good one. Ablation, very good, very good. What do we have here? Delayer, speed. Right. I can use that to rank something up. Let's see. Oh, I see a armor. I think there's an armor. Okay, we've got a shield. Okay, that's a good one right there. That's a very good one. Nice healing. Good healing in there. Especially when you're talking about percentages for mythics who have a lot of health in the first place. I think that's about it. If we get back around to the Ablation staff, then we're done. I see that one coming around again. Yeah, that's where we started. The Revenge staff. Yeah, that's right. All right, so that wasn't so bad. All right, and let's do the silvers. I got a lot of them. All right, let's open them all up. Another 25. I have no luck with these. I can't remember the last time that I got a gold from one of these, you know? I know you don't get as many, but I've opened a lot of these up. So basically, these are all for ranking up, right? And of course, I have 2 golds. So let's see what we got. Diamond, maybe? Okay, Brave Shield. Yeah, I think that's the one we just had a moment ago. So those aren't too bad. They can help. Okay, an Exhausting Mask is nice. That's another one that will take stamina away. Very, very nice. Okay, so those are useful. All right, and I mentioned there was something else, too. You know, I'd actually been saving up the, where are they? Pump Seed. Oh, that's for his staff. Okay, I was thinking they wouldn't offer a chest with him because they said they were never going to do that. Where is the, did I miss it? Oh, there it is. The Video Dark Master chest. I actually have 42 keys, so we're going to open 2 of them and see how that works out. Because I know that's going to work out great. Oh, wow. There are just no words for the quality of creatures that come out of these chests. I mean, where could we go from here? That's not bad. I'm not going to complain about that one. That's okay. He's especially since I can rank up the one I have. Keithor's all right. He can be a real pain in terms of shielding and healing and such like that. He's pretty good support. All right, that one, that's actually the best that I've ever gotten out of one of these stupid chests. Heyman was more consistent to what we usually get. All right, like I said, we don't have war, running a little late, but we always have time for PvP. So let's get to it. All right, let's begin. Gonna try to pick as good of fights as I can. Somebody was complaining that I was picking fights that were too easy, but I was trying to get good teams at times, you know? So we'll have to see how that works out today. All right, our first team today was suggested by Yules Dion. And Yules wanted to see, we almost have one of my older teams. Almost. All right, we're starting with Sparta. And then we're going over to Fire. And this is going to be, where is Nova. All right, and then we're going in a different direction over here with Darkness. And I'm going to have to look for him here a little because I think he's 100. And Vincent. All right, so we'll see how that works out. All right, so Nova is very fast, so I don't see any of these as being a good fight. I mean, we have a 120 over here on the left. We actually have two 120s. I mean, is that one the denial? All right, let's do that. It all comes down to the speed, doesn't it? Or maybe it doesn't come down to the speed. I mean, do people just not understand? I'm really serious about this. Do they understand the concept that your denial, whoever it is, has to be fast? I mean, each one of these has basically the same configuration. I mean, why would you want speed on Vladomagma? If you have him, he's your damage dealer, right? I'm sorry. But I mean, people say, I had somebody saying, you know, you're picking, this shouldn't have been an easy fight. It shouldn't. It shouldn't have been an easy fight. If there was good stats, if there were good runes on them, it wouldn't be an easy fight. But this is, yeah, I mean, activating cooldowns. I'm going first. Okay, maybe we might have a little fight here, but honestly, I don't really think so. Let's see. He's actually in a little bit of danger, so I'm going to do this. I guess he was tanking, right? All right, let's see. Well, we certainly don't want you taking our stamina away, right? No, we don't. And, well, you can just die too. All right, and, feel free to hit yourself. Oh, you don't have any stamina. That's because he's got all kinds of good artifacts over here. But this was guard down. And a little bit of a... Well, he's got a single target hit, right? Yes, he does. Boom on the head. And finisher. I mean, those were a couple of 120s there. That should have been harder, you know? Yeah, there's only one extra option there, you know? I mean, I'd like to get another Imigbo, but you know, I'd actually rather have the maze coins. That's just me. All right, let's go in for our next team. Our next team today was suggested by Des Rolls. Hope I said that right. And Des Rolls wanted to see, we're starting in Thunder, and that's going to be Zap. Next, we're going over to Darkness, and this is going to be Simon. Then we're also going, actually Metal. I don't know why I keep thinking that he's Darkness, but he isn't. He's Metal. And he's way down here. Somebody I would really like to have gotten an upgrade for, but it just never worked out. Wangzhou! All right, so we got Porky. Yeah, he was born with that name, and unfortunately, he stuck with it because I thought it was funny. Okay, if Porky goes first, they're in a lot of trouble. All right, none of these teams have a prayer. Okay, team at the middle is Joke. Okay, we'll try one more here. Yeah. All right, let's try that again. Yeah, I kind of just fought the one in the middle quickly just to get more choices. Do I want to do this one over here on the left? I don't think... I don't know. It's a good question. See, the Porky's only 100, but he's got good speed on him. What about what's over here? I don't even though there is a mythic there, the mythic is only 100. If he gets the lead, then yeah, I need somebody to like really compete here. That's too much. That's death over here. I don't stand a prayer against what's on the left. I mean, that's just they kill everybody without them being able to move, right? So we're not doing that. Okay, I'm probably going to lose, but I'm going to do the team on the right. I cannot imagine that Porky's going to get head start on those. But you know what? People want me to fight tough teams. I take that back. There's no speed over there. Okay. Oh, wow. Mortz is still... yeah, no, he's actually kind of fast. You chose poorly. Oh, wow. Did you guys resist the... You just resisted all the curses. You know, he's actually going to be dying horribly here, isn't he? All right. Well, he's going to do as much damage as he can. Oh, that's right. You're, I'm going to do it one more time. I'm going to actually do this, but I'm not going to let him kill himself. Because I want him to take hits. All right. I'm going to charge now. Oh, and then he's... Oh, because he had the extra turn? Shouldn't I... Oh, okay. That technically was a turn of his. That was a mistake of mine. All right, let's think about this. You know, I'm actually going to lose this one because the two of them resisted the torture effects because Morgs is immune to it. Can I get rid of him? No, oh, actually, wait a minute. Yeah, I need to get rid of you. All right, what do we got? I can't kill you, but I can take your stamina away. Hold on a minute. Stamina to allies. Yeah, we'll do that. Okay, he's dead now. But Ingenic is very dangerous. We're dead. This is your last round, isn't it? Yep. Oh, wow. She just keeps resisting. I think she's tough, though, isn't she? Yeah, this is all over. Yeah, Morgs is just a little old pain, isn't he? I gotta say, I've actually been using him for situations where I need darkness. Because he is a little old pain, isn't he? Okay, well, there you go. I did a tough team and lost. All right. Sorry about that. So let's just move on. Oh, God. Okay, it is difficult to find good teams today because people want the PvP wins, but they also put teams in so they can actually win things, right? All right, well, let's move on. All right, now, the next two teams are... I had to make assumptions and guesses on these because of individual circumstances. Let's talk about the first one. Our third team was suggested by Northwest WeatherNet. And Northwest WeatherNet wanted to see, I'm going to skip the one in the middle for a moment. We're starting with Chronica, and then over on the end, we're going with Earth, and this is going to be Geb. Now, up the middle, what was written was E-L-O-M, Illion. I had to think about that. And I was thinking, okay, we have denial, we have a tank, so it has to be some kind of a damage individual. So I am taking the guess that the individual was talking about Eeltron. That is my guess. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry, but I am guessing that it is Eeltron, so that's who I'm going for. All right, we're going down... for Eeltron, who, by the way, his name is set because I never changed it. This might be his first appearance. It might be. All right, so we have We have very good speed here, but none of these are stand a chance against this. Oh, one more try. Maybe more after that. Yeah, I did another fight so we can get some more teams, because none of those really would have stood a chance. All right, so let's see what we can get this time, because there was nothing there. There's mythics over here, so let's fight the mythics. All right, let's go. Okay, now, the one good thing here about Iltron, I should say more than one good thing, is he makes everybody immune to control, which means that he can get a hyperbolic time chamber, because he's immune to control. All right, so let's see. You guys want to do time stops. All right, so let's see. And then we're going to do some torture effects and good things for us. All right, and let me think. You're going to be taking nasty, nasty hits, so you know what I'm going to do is I am going to give you taunt. All right, so let's see. What are we going to do here? Moderate thunder damage to all enemies. Shock, that's his lower damage one, but that one has a chance for shock. No, actually, it's shock, and then it has a chance to stun. All right, hold on a second. I think this one? Special damage to all, drown to all. I'd rather make sure that they're getting some damage here, right? All right. Okay, we have no stamina. This is bad. All right. You guys want to be kids again? Apparently they all did. Wow, that worked out pretty darn good. Cast that spell and immediately they all turned into babies. Now, can you guys just be under control again? Wow. Kind of awesome. All right, let's think. Well, I could just damage them, give them shock, and then take the baby effect off in case I want to do it again. Okay, stop taking our stamina away. It's really annoying. All right, let's see. Well, that's going to do some killing. I'm guessing that you're just kind of dead, so I'm just going to help it along. Okay, so that worked out all right. Tough opponent, right? Not a pushover by any stretch. By the way, I actually got maze coins in the last spin. Okay, so we have one more. Let's go. Our final team for today was suggested by Bendic Santos. And Bendic Santos gave me a really confusing post. I think he was making suggestions per spot, but there was like a 1 and a 2 and a whole bunch of listed guys in there. So I just kind of looked down the middle and said, you know, that looks like a team, so I'm going to go with that. So let's begin with, over in light, this is Mira. Yeah, that was one of the reasons I picked it, is because she was in that line. All right, but it's a very good team here. Let's go next over to light, and this is going to be Lance. And finally, in thunder, we have Hornet, Kato. So we got a pretty good team here. So let's see what we can do here. Let's try that again. Up the middle? I mean, they're much higher than we are. But the thing is that, you know, there's no mythics there, and we do have a lot of stuff going on. You know what? If we lose, we lose, right? Well, we're going first, that's for sure. I think I'm going to let Mira handle the first round. Let me see what the order looks like. That's unfortunate. But he dodges group attacks, so I don't think that should be a problem. All right, so I am going to... I could just give them... See, there's things I could do here. I could make us all evade for a round, or... This is this one. Hold on a minute. Where is... Or give them all total damage reduction. Why don't I do that? Okay, except she resisted it. That's unfortunate. In that case... Total blind and guard down. Okay, so they're in a lot of trouble. All right, so let's start doing some damage. Do we have any dragons in the house? I don't think we have any dragons in the house. You in the front, you're from the sea. You're not a dragon, right? Besides, single target attacks are going to have to go to you, aren't they? All right. And then, of course, righteous evil. Okay, she didn't get the curse. That's unfortunate. All right, let's see. Now we can go with a little bit of a... Actually, yeah, we'll go with... no, not yet, not yet. Because I see she's going to go a little bit later here. All right, why don't we do moderate fire damage to one enemy, 50% chance of burn, shock, and nightmares to everyone. Let's see how you guys are at rolling. Yeah, he didn't get hit, but he did get the torture effects over there. All right, let's see. Where is the one that removes positive status effects from all enemies? Yeah, why don't we do that? Okay, now seems like a really good time for some evading. Hit you in the head, we're evading. All right, you're going to lose the evasion, but you dodge anyway. So here, you have 40% damage. Okay, you're just going to stand there and die then. Fine. Yeah, Mira's got lots of great stuff. All right, and a spin. Okay, more of those. Maybe I'll get Amiibo. And we're done. We're done. All right, so we got the maze. Very important. Raise as many coins as you can. Get as many coins as you can. The limited path is going to open tomorrow. Make sure you empty out the coins dungeon. Go through all the little steps there. The coin collection, the hatching, the breedings. Like, for instance, I can't do it right now because I'm still waiting for this. I could use the other one. Yeah, but you know what? I'm actually kind of keeping these because I'm scrapping them for cells. I have to raise up the other one and then scrap that for darkness cells or whatever I get for that. So I have to really wait for the bonbon to be done before I can do it. Anyway, do all kinds of your stuff. Get as many coins as you can. You got the limited path. It's going to open tomorrow. First hour is going to be a 10% discount. Try to get in for that. And we got all kinds of other things going on, like collecting the tokens for the upcoming event for that one, the Illion one. And I think that's going to do for now, because those two that I talked about today are very good, and you definitely do want them. Anyway, thank you very much for your attention. I really appreciate it. And play games because games are fun. See ya.